Yes, ma'am.
I want to clarify too and reiterate what you said, and you can say, I think this is right. I know one of our local representatives in Tennessee had said at one time, so anybody who was in that meeting with me, because I was confused too until Candy clarified this for me, he had said at one point that the clicking the things that we do when we get the emails that say take action, that wasn't really important to them as much as your phone call or your email. And he was speaking on a local level only, because it's my understanding, correct, that national, it is a click, click, click. It's a numbers game. So those that we get from Candy and Bob and the association, it is important. So if you heard that a phone call's better, it is locally if we're dealing with a local issue, but not a national issue. Is that right?
It's personal is always better, because if you're their constituent, they're real happy to hear from you. But if you don't have the time, and a lot of us don't, or you don't know them personally, they'd be overrun when they've got like 60,000 people in their district that decide to pick up the phone. But 60,000 emails kind of goes into an area that they can go, okay, this is a for group and this is an against group, and I can kind of measure the atmosphere of my constituents. So it does make a difference. But we are finding that they're paying attention to those. An interesting turn on that one point. I've been conversing with Joe Carr, who is my state representative, and the bill was up last week, actually 2 weeks ago, for reducing the notifications on foreclosures from 3 to 2, or from 3 to 1, actually, is what the Mortgage Bankers Group had asked for, to reduce it down. And I know Joe, and he and I converse on a lot of different things anyway, so I text him that the day it was supposed to come up in judiciary that I wanted him to vote against it, because I felt it was a disproportionate recognition for the consumer who was already under distress. They get one letter and 3 notices in the paper. That's not sufficient most of the time, even though they may know that they're distressed. They may not know what that eviction process is, and once they get that notice, one notice, they miss it, they're thrown out on the street and they're not prepared. That's poor consumer services, and I don't think it's appropriate, particularly because they get the money back on the ads when they get the properties closed out. So the bank's not necessarily losing, it's just delaying. So I sent that to Joe, and he said, I'll watch it, I'll let you know. Wednesday night, while I was in Washington, D.C., at 9:30 at night here, so it's 10:30 at night there, I get a text message from Joe going, is this the realtor position, or was this just what you asked for? Well, Chris Sexton, who's the TAR Government Affairs Director, Chris was there, so I went running down the hall going, Chris, what's our position? What did we decide to do about this? And he said, well, actually, we were in a monitor position because it was new. It came up the day we went to the Hill in March. That was when that bill was introduced, so we didn't have a whole lot of time to talk about it. He said, we are leaning to opposing that bill because we see it as not consumer friendly, but as their official position is to monitor the bill. So instead of writing the message I wanted to write, I wrote back and said, TAR is officially on a monitor leaning toward opposition. I personally still think it's the wrong thing to do. He wrote back 3 different times. We conversed till about 11 o'clock that night, my time, and I needed to go to bed, but he was still talking, so I was too. When I got back yesterday, Bob and I pulled up the bill. Now this is state level. I pulled up the bill, and it was an amendment was introduced to change it from 1 notice, which was the recommendation, to 2 notices as a compromise. The compromise passed. They voted on the bill, and the bill passed, so now it's 2. Joe voted for the compromise, but he didn't vote for the amended bill. So he still took the position that he wasn't going to support reducing it from 3. So I think it's important that if you've got a personal relationship with any of your elected officials, city council, county commission, sign ordinance committee, anybody, if you let them know what you think, they're going to listen. In one of the meetings that I was in, there was a representative from Missouri, and he said, if I get 3 calls or 3 letters on an issue, it's an important issue. 3. If I get 4, I got to know everything I need to know. 4 is all it takes for a state representative in Missouri to figure out it's an important issue. I was 25% there with Joe. So I don't think we appreciate how important our voice is, how powerful that RPAC dollar is. I'm going to make my final plug for RPAC. RPAC There are 75% of our realtor members that do not contribute a dollar. If you took $15, which is what NAR says is the fair share goal, times the 700,000 people, that's $10.5 million more of voice we would be having. It's that much of an important issue for us to say our PAC is important. And $15 is, lunch. One lunch. We could probably pass it up occasionally. Have a beautiful breakfast, skip lunch today. If you haven't invested in our PAC, it's really not about me. It's not my money. It doesn't come to me. It goes right back into what helps you do your business. So our PAC is important. And I really hope that you take to heart and talk to everybody in your office that, we go for $25 to make sure we can meet our goals and our obligations, because a big portion of that money is coming back to the local level to make sure we get to our state representatives and our state senators, as well as our city council and county commission people. And a bunch of those are getting ready to run again next year. So the dollars we invest now are available for us to use next year. So I'm hoping that you take all those at heart. And Valencia wants her mic back. Thank you.
Andy, I appreciate that. And I'm going to shorten my part, but however, just to let you know, myself, Kelly Gafford, and some other individuals from the state of Tennessee and other representatives with WCR were also in Washington, D.C. Some of us did not get a chance to go to Nation's Capital. However, we were there at the Women's Council of Realtors different meeting sessions, and we actually have representatives with the Women's Council of Realtors that actually go to all the different NAR meetings and give us updates and feedback, some different things going on. I'm just going to highlight a couple of things. There were a lot of different things where they addressed the NAR and also with WCR in regards to cultural diversity trends, in regards to how the market is changing in various different ways, in regards to different ethnic groups moving to areas, or just a shift in how housing market and needs are, even going to for those who are elderly senior individuals. But also in regards to how the impact has happened in our society in regards to the housing market from California to here, because as we all know I'm getting more cash buyers because they're like, we don't want to do it mortgages, or for whatever reason they cannot do it, but those cash option buyers are out there. So keeping us all aware of what's going in the market. Also, we did get the highlights about the IDX changes and various things, but I just want to let you know that on our website, WCR.org, and if you are a member, you can access that. And if you don't have your password and things, just see us. We have all the highlights from all the training and leadership sessions we had on various topics of social media, smartphones, presentations. The biggest thing with WCR as a nation, we're saying we're trying to inspire individuals to live up to their future leadership potential and move on, educate realtors and affiliates in regards to what's happening in the market and the trends that's moving forward that is affecting our businesses, but also enable each individual to grow to the ability and potential that they have inside themselves and also their business as well. So moving forward with WCR and with our own chapter, we're planning to do more education sessions, one-on-one sessions, and what we're all asking each other, we're asking each other to task, what can you do to support the organization, whether it's here at our local level, state level, national level, whatever level you want to pick. And actually, several individuals went to the leadership training for NAR that represented Women's Council of Realtors, and I think we had a very large, almost over half of our representatives represented WCR at the NAR Leadership Academy. So it's just like the MCHAR Leadership Academy, but it's at a higher level. So if you want to aspire to higher political things in real estate, you can. And actually, this is a good starting point, because that's why WCR partners with NAR, because they realize how the things we go through here to do social programs and different things for our community goes to the next level, to the state and to the national level. And I'm going to cut that part off, but I want to recognize Debbie Mann. Come here, Debbie, please. If you saw on the website, you might have saw me in a nice little dress or black dress or whatever, holding an award, but our chapter received the, forgive me, I have to read the Silver Award. There are certain criteria that each chapter has to make in regards to being recognized on national level of potential programs and different things we do in our community. And actually, I have to thank Debbie Mann for her support for last year, and she should have been there for this award. We should have had gold. I'm going to go there. Yes, I did. But yes, I know National will see this video. But anyway, we're planning to do that, and actually with Kelly Gafford's support, I know we will do that, because Kelly is actually going to be our president of chapter, state chapter next year. So Debbie, man, I want to say thank you for everything. This is more for you. And we also, you're a biscuits tree. That's your baby to take home. So we want to recognize you for everything you've done.
Thanks.
And everybody else, we can support Debbie and the rest of us for the rest of this year. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to go around, and we're going to have each affiliate say something quick about who they are, what they're about, so everybody know who does what. Actually, every affiliate, I thank you. I know I do business with a lot of you. I've not had the opportunity to do business with everyone. However, we with WCR appreciate you each and every day. And the key thing is we as realtors, we are trying to get more realtors to join, because one of the things at the national level, they said it, you have to build a relationship. Yes, texting, internet, and other things are wonderful, but that one-on-one communication is the key thing. Like this gentleman here. He's a member of our Memphis chapter, Carl. And actually on Facebook, I just told him, he said, I'm coming. I Facebooked and I was like, who are you? But I don't want to say, who are you? But I was like, okay, great. Can you bring a couple of realtors with you? You know, and he's like, sorry from Memphis, but he was here for the golf outing yesterday. So he decided to come and join us today. So just that connecting through social networking, which is good, but we had a chance to meet, and he deals with some things with builders and things, so he can network here. So you never know who you might meet or touch, so take that moment to just speak. Tweeting and internet's fine, but never mind, I'm not going to go there. Okay, here we are. We'll start with Ginger Scott.
I'm Ginger Scott with Premier Home Inspection. We do residential inspections, and we see a lot of familiar faces, and we appreciate your support and trusting your clients with us. Give us a call. I laid out some information about a new service that we're offering on some of the tables, and so if you didn't get one, look around for the card. Thank you.
I'm Brenda Fisher. I'm with First Community Mortgage, and we've been very active with the Women's Council of Realtors for many, many years. In fact, I remember coming when there were only 3 with Linda Dillon as a president about 20 years ago. But I originate mortgage loans. We are locally owned. We're owned by First Community Bank in Shelbyville. We were the #1 real estate lender last year in the county of Rutherford County. We were also the #1 USDA lender in the state, and I believe the #2 lender with THDA. So we do appreciate your business, and we do want to support our realtors and other affiliates. We appreciate the opportunity that you give us to participate with you.
And we thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy with Advanced Title Services. We've been members of WCR for several years now. We've made a lot of great relationships, business-wise, but also a lot friendship-wise. One thing that we try to do is build relationships with our agents. Our biggest event is our Hot Properties event, which is a big networking event for all our agents, trying to help all the agents with their listings and also with their buyers. We also get our lenders involved as well. So if you guys are not involved in that, and if you're interested, just come see me, and we'd be more than happy to get you interested. But thank you, WCR, for all your support as well.
I'm a cable guy. My name is Jason Arkenberg. This is actually my first year at WCR, and I do appreciate everybody welcoming me. It's been a great experience so far, and I just help new home buyers or people moving set up their new services. Again, Jason with Comcast Cable.
I'm Amanda, and I'm with TriStar Title and Escrow, and we're actually new to WCR too. We do loan closing, so if you guys, like Amy, so if you guys would like to have any questions or anything like that, we'd be glad to help you. We're locally owned as well, 25 years of experience, so we'd love to meet all you guys, and I see some familiar faces in here too, so it's pretty interesting.